Thank you. That's very kind of you to call me a comedian already. This is my first. Oh, getting a bit of feedback. Not the kind of feedback I want. Is that better? Brilliant. Yeah. So this is my first time doing stand-up tonight. Thank you very much for coming. I know you've come just to see me. No, I'm joking. Obviously, it's open mic night. Brilliant acts. Well done, everybody. Well done. I'm very glad that I'm not singing tonight, and I'm sure all of you would be too. If you ever heard me sing, it would be absolutely awful. But yeah, I'm here to do some comedy. It's my first time doing it. The only other person to ever hear my comedy or to suffer my comedy, as I like to say, is my wife. Yes, I know. Quite a shock. I am married. Yeah, I know. You're looking at me thinking, who the hell would want to marry that? Yeah, it's quite a shock to me too, actually, I have to say. I was a bit of a late bloomer when it came to getting married. I'm not going to lie, I'm 41, had to think then, always forget. 41 years old. I got married when I was 38. And before then I lived with my parents in my little bedroom there with a collection of, I think at the last count it was about 6,500 comic books. So I'm as surprised as you are that I got married, actually. And I spent most of my time when I was 36 years old in my little bedroom in my parents' house, just reading comic books, playing video games, and masturbating into a sock. But the less said about that, the better, really. So I'm very happy now that I'm married. Very happy indeed. We got married in 2019, which is lucky, because it was just before COVID. We got married on the 1st of December 2019. Funny story, actually. We were in church. Oh God. I'm not Christian, by the way. I'm an atheist, but my wife makes me go to church because she's a Christian. It's great fun. But we were in church, and someone asked me a couple of months after we got married, when did we get married, right next to my wife, and I said 2nd of December, without dropping a beat. She was like, no, Barry, it was the 1st. So yeah, got brownie points there. But anyway, yeah, so I got married on the 1st of December 2019, just before COVID. Oh God, COVID was awful, wasn't it? Wasn't COVID awful? Having to stay inside all that time, not seeing anybody. I actually really fucking loved it. I have to say, I'm not the most sociable of people, but I loved it. I loved having an excuse not to see anybody, not to go out, not to see anyone. It was great. I could just stay at home. Previously, my usual response to any kind of social request to socialise would be no. They say, hey Barry, do you want to go? No, thank you, I'm alright. They say, Barry, do you want to go to the pub? No, I'm alright, thanks. It was brilliant when COVID came along because I could change that to government. Everyone would ask me if I wanted to go out to the pub, and I'd say, no, government says no, can't do it, government says no. It's brilliant. I had a perfect excuse to not be sociable. I am quite a socially awkward person, as you might have gathered by the way I'm talking to you today, and I'm not trying to make eye contact with anybody. I'm quite a socially awkward person. There was one time I was sat in the Tesco car park with my wife beside me. She was driving, I was in the passenger seat because, let's be honest, she wears the trousers in this relationship. And I was sat in the passenger seat in Tesco car park, and the strangest thing happened. I just saw this man kind of walking towards the car, towards the passenger side door, and it all just kind of happened in slow motion. So he kind of walking like this, towards the door of the car, and I just thought, what the hell is happening here? And I got to the point where he actually opened the door and went to sit on my lap, and he got completely the wrong car. He went to sit on my lap, and all the while this was all going on in slow motion, and I could see it happening. I knew what was going to happen, and I didn't do anything to stop it because I wasn't, scared of him. I wasn't like worried about him trying to hijack the car or anything. I was just kind of thinking about, how do I handle this situation in a socially acceptable way? How do I talk to this bloke so that in a way that he gets to like me? Because I've got this kind of undeniable need for people to like me at all times. So this bloke was walking towards my car. I'm not scared. He's just walking towards me, and I'm thinking, oh my God, what do I say to this bloke? How do I talk to him? because I'm one of those people who, when as a tradesman comes into your house, I never know how to talk to them, because I'm not the most masculine of people, you might have realised. And I never know how to talk to them, so I always put on a bit of a laddish kind of way of talking, like, oh yeah mate, oh yeah, nasty business, oh yeah, cup of tea, yeah. But I don't talk to anybody else. So I kind of try to adjust my speech to the people I see. And he was coming towards the car. I froze, because, not because I was scared, but because I just didn't know how to talk to him. So I got a bit scared and kind of ended up saying something like, oh golly gosh, sorry, no, you don't want to do that. Oh, all right mate, yeah, good. So yeah, it was all a bit of a mess. He was as embarrassed as I was, to be honest, but yeah, so that was quite funny. Anyway, well, I thought it was. Moving on. So yeah, COVID was good. I mean, sorry, no, that's awful. COVID was not good. COVID, people dying. Although I do work in an industry which people dying is actually a good thing. I work for Bath Council, and I find care placements for old people in care homes. So COVID was kind of a good thing, because they kind of dropped off and made room for others. But no, that's not a very nice way of thinking about it at all. Yeah, moving on from that. I sound like some kind of harbinger angel of death. It's awful. No, COVID was great. No, it wasn't great, Barry, stop it. So then, yeah. I completely lost my train of thought. Hang on, it's coming back. Choo-choo, here goes the train. I've got kids, as you can probably guess from that last sentence. I've completely ruined my next joke, which was, I'm going to carry on with it anyway, see if it goes. So yeah, I got married. Before then, as probably will be no surprise, I was a virgin, being a 36-year-old man with 6,500 comic books and living with my parents. There wasn't much opportunity for me to inviting the fairer sex back to my lovely comic-strewn room. So I was a virgin before I got married, and I was a bit annoyed about it really when I got married and I lost my virginity, because I was 38 years old, and I was holding out actually for my own Channel 5 documentary about being the boy who never had sex, or maybe even the real 40-year-old virgin, but unfortunately that was never to happen. So yeah. Yeah, so I lost my virginity, and when you're 36 years old and before you're married, and you're in your bedroom and you've got nothing to do but play video games and the other unmentionable thing I said earlier, you do start to take stock of your Is the mic gone? No, there we go. You do start to take stock of your life, and you start to think about, where did it all go wrong? How did I get here? How did I get here? And I feel that I have one person to blame for my situation at that time, and I think that person is Jesus. I think Jesus is the person to blame. Now don't worry, as I said earlier, I'm not Christian. I'm not going to try and convert you to Christianity. I'm not going to say Jesus is the answer, because he wasn't the answer. He was the bloody problem in my case. But yeah, I was 16 years old. Cast your mind back, way back then. 16 years old, at school, horny as a horn dog, and I had a beautiful girlfriend. She was tall, blonde, thin, intelligent. She was going to Oxford Uni. She was just amazing, but she was a bloody Christian. So Jesus was my cock blocker at 16. Yes, I realise I'm probably going to hell for saying that sentence. Oh, hello Barry, why are you here today in the gates of hell? I'm sorry, I was very frustrated, and I said some nasty things about Jesus, about not letting me have any sex. God, that makes me sound like I wanted to have sex with Jesus. I really didn't. Oh, okay. Did you call Jesus a cock blocker? Yes, I did. Over there with the other virgins. And yeah, so off the hell I go. Yeah, so that's really annoying. But when I think about it, I mean, honestly, I can't just blame Jesus about being a virgin for all that time. As I said before, my common reaction to things is to say no. And this actually also happened once when I was working in a bar when I was younger, and I was on the bus on the way home with a girl I was flirting with all night in the shift, and she said to me, do you want to come back to my place? My first reaction was, no thanks, you're alright. Just because of my usual social reaction saying no to things, and obviously she wanted to have sex with me. So I can't just blame Jesus. have to think about that as well. But there is one kind of sociable event that I love doing, which kind of I kind of call pseudo-social. It's a term I phrase myself, a phrase I made myself. And that's barbecues. I love hosting barbecues. I think barbecues are great because if you're hosting a barbecue, you have the brilliant excuse to not be sociable, but also you're being sociable at the same time. So yeah, it's strange because you're there at a barbecue and you're cooking your meat and you're stood there in the barbecue. You don't have to talk to anybody, and the brilliant thing is people actually come up to you to talk to you rather than you trying to talk to them, which is awesome. You've got none of that awkward small talk. Plus, you get bonus masculinity points, as mentioned before. I'm not very masculine. There's nothing more masculine than standing in front of a burning pile of coals and cooking your meat. So I've gone from tossing my meat in my bedroom to tossing my meat in my garden with all my family and friends watching. So yeah, thank you very much.